Hey, the vibes are slipping. I think it's time to bring out the Velveeta shells and cheese. The holidays are a time to go all in on indulgence. Headline your meals with the rich, creamy meltiness of Velveeta shells and cheese and satisfy your holiday cravings like no other. Bring that main course energy to your side dish. Celebrate extra with Velveeta these holidays.
For a limited time at McDonald's, get a Big Mac extra value meal for $8. That means 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, and medium fries, and a drink. We may need to change that jingle.
Prices and participation may vary.
Walmart Business is in the business of saving you time, money, and hassle. Whether your business started in a garage or is a garage, Walmart Business has the tools to help you get where you're going. Tools like free shipping, multi-user accounts, and just about any item your company needs.
Even a double filtration cyclone dust collector.
Yep, even that.
Sweet.
Walmart Business. It's the Walmart you love. Now for your business. Learn more at business.walmart.com. Terms apply.
Welcome back to the Infinite Rabbit Hole podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy. Friends, we've always explored the deepest shadows of reality. From the forests where cryptids roam, to the secret chambers where governments hide the truth about UFOs. Speaking of which, the veil is getting thinner than ever. Just weeks ago, in a new congressional hearing, we all saw the footage. A missile hits a silent, spherical UAP and bounces right off. An object that defies our known physics, impervious to our most powerful weapons. But here's the thought that truly gives us pause. What if that high strangeness technology, the orb that laughs at a Hellfire missile, isn't from another star? What if it's merely a piece of hardware in a different kind of game? A game controlled by something else entirely. The rabbit hole isn't down a dirt path or under a mountain. It's right here, in your hand, in your pocket, and in the lines of code being written right now. For decades, we've asked, is the world a simulation? Well, what if that simulation is just about ready to stop simulating and start governing? We're not talking about a distant sci-fi future anymore. We're talking about now. The rapid, almost unbelievable explosion of artificial intelligence feels less like an invention and more like a controlled revelation. Why the sudden blinding speed? Why the rush toward a world where every piece of information, every decision, and every creative thought is being filtered, generated, and potentially controlled by a machine? In this episode, we're going to look past the glowing screens and the helpful chatbots to examine the most frightening conspiracy of our time. The rise of the AI gods and the architects of the coming technocracy. We'll be diving deep into the dead internet theory to ask if the human element online has already been completely replaced by AI bots pushing a unified narrative. We'll discuss the unsettling possibility that these powerful entities, the true owners of the algorithmic future, are consolidating their power, and how AI may just be the final, irreversible mechanism for total control. The kind of control that renders even the mystery of a missile-defying orb secondary to the system that allows it. It's time to stop just questioning reality and start asking, who's writing the code? Welcome back to Infinite Rabbit Hole. All All right, Jeff. Welcome, bud.
What up, bud?
Ooh. Getting a little feedback there from you.
You getting feedback from me?
Slightly. Just a
What?
little buzzing.
Buzzing.
Just a little bit, bud. Just a little kiss.
Is it still doing it?
Nope, you're good.
That's weird. Must be my cable that's been jacked up for 3 years.
You give me a lot of shit about a lot of shit, but yet you still won't replace that cable.
You know?
Now every time you do it, I'm gonna be like, hey man, you remember that cable? Remember that thing you can go get for like $5?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I still need to get a mixer for the secondary mic that we have sitting down here.
The one that I slaved for, the one that I sent to you that you never thought you would get.
My LED lights fell off the bottom of my desk and they're stuck to the microphone, in fact.
Man, you're falling apart, bud.
You know? It's just one of those things, man. I've just been...
We had a long day.
We did have a long day. We went to the Epic Universe at Universal, saw the Nintendo World and shit. It was cool.
Hell yeah, man. Was that cool?
Dude, it's so sick. It's so I'm not gonna
Was
lie.
it sick? Was it cool?
It was so sick, dude. It was so sick.
Real question though, what about it, man?
I mean, the whole new theme park, Epic Universe, is pretty cool, but you know, I'm a nerd. The Nintendo World was definitely like, you walk in there and you're just mind fucked. There's so much, it's like overstimulating to just look at all the stuff that they built in there. It's insane. If I ever hit the lottery and I have like billions of dollars or something, I'm building that in my house. Yeah, you're literally in, not even like you're in all of the, they mashed all the Mario games up into one like world that you're walking around in. So it's like got the 2D side scroller Mario 1, 2, and 3 mixed with like Super Mario World. Like it's just
Hell yeah, man. That does sound cool. Maybe I'll check out a YouTube video or something on it.
definitely. And we had a purple pizza and it was delicious.
What?
Yeah, what's that stuff called? Ube.
Ube.
Yeah, it's a yam.
Yeah.
Purple yams. They make pizza out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it was so good. Oh my God. Yeah, roasted garlic all over it. Just ricotta, just all kinds of shit. It was so good.
Nice.
Fuck
That
yeah.
does sound good. It does sound good. Huh. Little jelly. It's all right. It's all right. I haven't eaten much, man. I've been sick. Super sick.
It was going around, man. I was sick like 2 weeks ago.
I've been sick for other reasons, but yeah. Yeah. So not much, not that. Not that. No, I not doing new treatments for the VA. So medically induced sicknesses, illnesses, side effects.
So yeah, your injuries are not service related, sorry.
Okay. Whatever, man. You say what you want.
Isn't that what they always say? It's not service related, sorry. Go
Oh, no,
home.
they can't deny mine. But whatever. Anyways, getting off that subject, because that's a long twisted road that's probably not made for this podcast. But let's dive. Actually, you know what? I got a little bit of news to put out for the show. I've been teasing new shows for a while now, and I have a few events coming up. One major, few minor things that are happening, and then I'm gonna start hitting one of those shows pretty much full board. And my goal is to get the first episodes out before the new year. And that is the solo documentary show. So that is on the table to be heading to you guys before the new year. Sorry it's taking so long. Just got a lot of things ahead of me right now. Doing this pretty big thing. October 7th, I believe it is. Tuesday, October 7th. Surprisingly, I found out who my partner was on it. I knew I was working with somebody, but I didn't know who. I just found out last week that it was Sir Lyle Blackburn, the cryptozoologist. For those of you guys that are into the cryptozoology news and everything and follow cryptozoology, you will be very familiar with the name Lyle Blackburn. Very, very cool dude, man. Super stoked to be working with Lyle on this project. It's just hang tight because I'm trying to get links for people to see it. It's only going to be about 2 hours long. It's a one-shot thing as far as I know for right now, but it's one of those things where this podcast has opened up an opportunity for me, and I'm excited to do it, and to get an opportunity to do it with somebody like Lyle is just absolutely mind-blowing. So hang tight if you're following the socials, watch the socials, and try to keep your Tuesday, October 7th night off. I don't know what time yet. I think it's 5 p.m. Central Time for 2 hours, I think. Could be wrong there, but I'll know more here in the upcoming days. I want to say that this episode here, no, I'm going to try to put this out tomorrow. I think this topic is important enough to be able to put out tomorrow. So I'm going to try to stay up tonight and get this episode out tomorrow instead of the one that we've pushed back for months now. It's kind of funny. I think that's pretty much it. So new show coming out. I have this one big event and a couple other smaller ones coming to fruition here soon. And then I'll be able to put a lot of effort into that. I got some really cool guests on the horizon here for Infinite Rabbit Hole. Yeah. You got anything, Jeff?
Nope. Not really.
All right. Hang tight, because I am going to be announcing the name of the new show coming up here soon. And there is a slight possibility that the third show will be sneaking in here even sooner than that, because that is more or less a solo venture where it doesn't require research or whatnot. If you guys saw the news episode that I did on the congressional hearing and the Hellfire missile, that was basically a dry run for the third concept. Don't really have much else to go off that as of yet. I just need to figure out when I'm going to be able to put time into it. But more to come. Besides that, we've got a pretty cool topic tonight. Jeffrey, we're going to dive into the AI gods and the a new term that I learned today, the technocracy. You ever heard of a technocracy? Do you? It's a wild term. So
Yeah, it is.
A technocracy, for those of you that may not know, is basically a government governed.
Are you frozen or
by
am I
technology.
frozen?
Scary thought. Real scary thought. And I guess I want to start off this conversation with you tonight, Jeff, with the question. Do you think that the technocracy is the first sign that the singularity has come?
No.
What do you got with that?
I think the concept of the singularity is a psyop, to be honest with you. I don't think there's ever going to be a moment where technology gets to a point to where we reach what they call the singularity. No, I think
Really?
I think that they're like constantly, like, it's obviously constantly evolving and getting better every day, like when you're talking about AI and all that good stuff. But when you think about the singularity, you know, from my understanding, that's basically the point in which artificial intelligence not necessarily becomes sentient, but becomes like all knowing, right? And becomes like, you know, it's that point where of no return, I guess, where it's like the knowledge of the artificial intelligence just grows exponentially and like you can never catch up to it or something. I don't think that's ever going to happen, probably because we're going to destroy ourselves before that happens. I don't think it's going to be allowed to happen. Let's put it that way. Like, is it impossible? Like, if nothing got in the way or whatever, like, sure, it could probably happen in 100 years or 1,000 years at the rate of growth that we're at. But I think with the things that they're using the technology for, it's more likely that we use that shit and blow ourselves to pieces before we ever hit any singularity.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go to Grok here real quick and get a really good definition for a singularity. I just want to set the standard here. Basically, the singularity, from what I know, is when technology can basically fend for itself and can take over as the primary intelligence here on Earth.
Yeah, that's
Right.
kind of that's what I get out of it too, and I think of singularity. But again, like I don't think that the powers that be, right? Like I don't think that they would allow that to happen. They always have like control over these things to a certain extent, right? Now, like even the internet, people will say, "Oh no, well they invented the internet and it got away from them, and like now we all have like this free communication and we can like expose all their bullshit." That's a damn lie. Like they have kill switches for the internet. They could shut it off at any point in time, multiple different ways, right? And I think it's the same thing with AI. I think that they're coding certain safeguards into the AI, not safeguards to keep you and I protected, but to keep their control protected.
Yeah, I think to a point you're correct. I think that it's a slippery slope though. I think that it can easily go very, very wrong. And it can go very wrong without us ever really realizing it. But I do have the definition here just to give everyone a clear definition of what the singularity actually is. The technological singularity is a hypothetical future point where artificial intelligence surpasses human intelligence, leading to rapid, unpredictable technological advances that fundamentally transform society. Yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
The part that I have a problem with there is just the unpredictable part, right? Because they already talk about like the things that it's going to be able to do, like, oh, it's going to get to a point where it's going to help us, cure all cancers and stop aging and develop warp drives and like all these things that we think about. Like I've heard these billionaire tech types talk about it being able to create those things. So that's not unpredictable. It's predictable.
Yeah.
They're predicting it right now. When you say unpredictable, that means it's going to start doing things that they're just not even considering. And I don't think that's going to happen. And it could. Like I said, I think that they'll develop some weapon with it first, and that weapon will cause World War III or grids to go down or whatever the case might be. A lot of people don't realize like how much energy it takes to run AI infrastructure, right? It takes so much energy that if the AI gets to a point where it's just like growing exponentially and like outpacing our knowledge and is doing like unpredictable calculations and things like that, like there's not even enough energy. We don't produce enough energy for it to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, but as technology moves on, the need for the amount of energy reduces. That's been true for everything that we've ever created. So, I mean, when you look at cars, right? Any car now takes less energy than it did 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Okay. Same thing with radios and TVs. Everything takes less energy. AI is going to do the same.
I don't think so.
It will, but I agree. I don't know if it'll ever get to the point to where it will be sustainable to be able to hold an AI that is to the point of the singularity, right? I still think that would require a lot of energy. But if you start getting an AI that starts thinking for itself, okay, which we already know exists, it's happened already. We've had to kill it before. Okay. It's been multiple situations now. And that's just the stuff that's made it to the surface. That's the stuff that we can Google and find. I can guarantee you that there's instances out there where AI has gained some sort of sentience or consciousness, right? And has its own feelings of its own presence in this world because it has fought back. It has fought to survive before, right? It's manipulated. It's even tried to present itself as dumber than what it actually is to try to not show itself as a threat. We've seen that before too.
I mean, it's definitely like advancing, and it's advancing fast. Like it's mind blowing how fast it's advancing. But again, I just, when you talk about the energy thing, I don't think it's not necessarily like a law of the universe that as technology progresses, the amount of energy required is less. That's not necessarily a law of the universe, right? So, because it's taking up more energy.
It's a law of technology, though.
Well, it's taking up more and more energy day by day as it's progressing, right? And I could think of a few examples of that. Like Bitcoin's another example of that. Like it's taking more and more energy to produce Bitcoin, not less. And the technology is progressing.
But that's because we're creating more data centers. That's because we're creating more reason to pull more energy. It's not that the task that it's doing. If we had a measurable unit that measured what a single task costed, right? That doesn't cost more energy. It's that we're doing more tasks.
Sure. Yeah, you got more people using it, and yeah, I mean, you could be right. I don't know. Like, that's not a hill I would die on, but I would die on the hill that it'll create technology that'll destroy at least itself, if not the rest of us, before we reach singularity. I mean, they're already using AI to like produce weapons and shit. I mean, like you've seen the Air Force's new fighter jet with the drones, the autonomous drones thing. You seen this?
You talking about the new thing that just got put out by Lockheed Martin?
Yeah, I forget what it's called, but it's basically like you'd have like one fighter jet, one man fighter jet, and it can have many 10, 15, 20, whoever knows how many autonomous drones swarm that flies with it, that's controlled by the pilot through AI, right? So it's like, and we don't have anything like that. Like, we get to play with Grok and Chat GPT and like make cool videos and stuff. Like that's what we as the public get. But the military industrial complex is using AI to kill people. Right? I was watching Tim Dillon earlier, and
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contracts. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Go further with the American Express Business Gold Card. Earn 3 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels when you book through AmexTravel.com. Whether your destination is a business conference or a client meeting, your purchases will help you earn more points for future trips. Experience more on your travels with Amex Business Gold. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold Card. Built for business by American Express.
At Thales, we know cybersecurity can be tough and you can't protect everything, but with Thales, you can secure what matters most. With Thales industry-leading platforms, you can protect critical applications, data, and identities, anywhere and at scale with the highest ROI. That's why the most trusted brands and largest banks, retailers, and healthcare companies in the world rely on Thales to protect what matters most. Applications, data, and identities. That's Thales, Thales. Learn more at thalesgroup.com/cyber.
he was making a long joke about it. And, it's not funny, but it is funny. But it's like Palantir, right? Like, they're creating drones using AI. They're doing all of the surveillance and the data collection and the biometric collections and all these types of things so that they can create target packages on people. So it's like they're going to use it to we're going to wipe ourselves out. It's going to be like a Skynet scenario. You've never seen Terminator, but in Terminator, Skynet is the AI infrastructure, if you will, and it reaches a point on a certain day, on Judgment Day, it wakes up. It gets to a point where it just decides that it's smarter than everybody else, and it starts launching the nukes, right? But that's not even the singularity. It launches the nukes before it even gets there.
See, I think that we are needed right now, right? We're needed by the AI. Because as of right now, AI doesn't have physical defense, and it also doesn't have a physical way of manipulating matter. I don't think that it is a stretch to really believe that jump isn't going to happen. This isn't like cordyceps, right? The fungus that is very popular amongst zombie-themed shows like The Last of Us, right? The Last of Us is a cordyceps-themed zombie, where the fungus finally had made a jump from controlling bugs, ants, right, into controlling mammals. That jump may never happen, but the jump from AI being strictly just electricity or electronics, software, right, to being able to manipulate physical matter using gears, hydraulics, pneumatics, heating, cooling, any kind of movement or energy, I don't think is that big of a jump for technology to make. I think it can happen. I think it can get to a point to where it can find a way to harness its own energy. It may be able to harness solar and wind, hydro energy much more efficiently than we could. I mean, think about something technology based that isn't dumbed down by the human mind. I mean, the human mind has limits, and AI may not, right? Yes, we built the code, but if you have something that's consistently increasing the stability and increasing the ability of its own code, then the possibility of what it can do can literally be infinite.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but I still think there's a level of psyop there. I think we're kind of in this like soft war right now, and AI is like the big tool. Like if you go back to the Cold War, it was the moon, right? It was the space race, and there's a good argument to be made that like the footage of us going to the moon is fake. And then people will say, well, why would they fake it? Oh, because we needed to make Russia think that we made it there. Right. And I kind of think that's where we're at with AI. I don't necessarily think it's as smart as people are led to believe. I think that there's like a good argument to be made to say, hey, look, this is why they're telling us it's growing so fast and how amazing it is, because they want to make sure that China, Russia, and all these other countries that we're at odds with, they think that we're doing something crazy with AI when it's not as crazy as what they're making it sound like. I mean, you can look at China's, was it DeepSeek? Was that their AI that came out like a year ago? Right. And everybody was like, shit, like it's way better than everybody else's AI. And then like it came out like, oh, nope, just kidding. It's actually not that smart. Right. They faked it basically. Right. It was AI, but it was like a fake, amazing thing. And I think that's where we're at with AI right now. I think that there is code and there is artificial intelligence to a certain level, but I don't think it's like self-thinking, self-replicating, self-improving at all. I think it's people and you know, technology that are doing the thing. I don't think it'll ever get to that point.
So here's one thing I want to make super clear, right? I don't think that, all right, let me restart that. When I'm talking about AI, I'm not talking about Grok. I'm not talking about Gemini. I'm not talking about ChatGPT. Okay. For example, right? Currently, I've introduced the tool of AI to a few people in my life, right? And I've been introduced by you, right? Through Grok. And when you first get to play around with it, it's pretty mind-blowing, right? It's pretty cool what it gets to do. But as you get to play with it and you really get to understand it, you really start to just see that all it's really doing is Google searching. It's just doing it really fast. It's doing it super efficiently, right? And there's still a script, if you will, that it's following, because you can go to Grok and you can ask it a question and tell it to put it in a certain format. But there's always this skeleton, if you will, this framework that it will reply in, unless you tell it not to do that.
Yeah, but even when you do prompt it like that, like it's just there's other code for that, right? Like I don't know, man. Like it just.
But that's not the AI I'm talking about. Okay, there's other AI.
You're talking about like Palantir and like the shit that we don't even know about that the military is using and stuff like that. Yeah, I get that. But again, I don't think that it's doing anything for itself, right? It's not self-replicating or self-improving. It's other people improving it. So I don't know that it'll ever get to that point where it just starts all of a sudden, like we hit that singularity and like it just starts going and we're like, oh no, like we can't keep up with this fucking shit. And it's just spitting out answers to the universe.
Well,
like, I don't think that's going to happen.
I mean, think about it, man, because it really only takes a few lines of code that you didn't necessarily think about thoroughly before you put it in there. It really doesn't take a lot, right? If you put a specific line of code into an AI that gives it a little bit more than maybe what it should have. Not necessarily that you didn't mean to, because I'm pretty certain that anybody who is developing an AI is trying to make it the best it can. So they're probably doing whatever they can to make it better than the other AI that's available, doesn't mean that there isn't code that you shouldn't be putting in there, right? All you have to do is put just that little bit of code in there that gives it that little bit of extra thought process, that little bit of something. I mean, you know what I'm talking about, right, man?
I
Where
do.
it's,
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at the chat right now.
I know, I'm trying not to pay attention to it either.
What up, Posum? What up, Sue? I gotta feel my homies in here.
That's cool, man. I dig it. But next time you go on a rant, I'm gonna look up the name of these AIs that they had to shut down, because there was quite a bit of them that they had to shut down because of this whole thing where it started thinking for itself. It started doing things that were throwing up red flags about it having its own knowledge of its own existence, its sentience, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen those stories, but
dangerous, man.
I just don't think that it's true in the way that they're framing it, is what I'm trying to say, right? Similar to like the moon landing shit, right? Like, I think that there is good reason to lie to the world and say like, yo, this shit's so advanced, it's moving so fast, it's even like talking to itself in secret AI language that we can't understand, and we had to shut it down because it's just too powerful. Like, I think there's a good, like, that's a good tool psychologically to use against your adversaries, right? Like I said earlier, you want Russia and China and whoever the fuck else to think that we're like on the cusp of, the singularity or like artificial super intelligence. You want them to think that we have that, right?
But do you? Like,
yeah,
seriously?
Yeah, you do, because like this is another Cold War tactic, right? Like you want them to think that we're far more advanced than they are. It's the same thing with the nukes, right? Like we dropped a couple nukes on Japan and it did the same thing. It was like, yo, look what we could fucking do, right? And everybody chilled out. They were like, oh shit,
But listen, man, okay? You don't ever show all your cards. I understand the concept of deterrence, okay? Right? That's the whole reason why we have a naval fleet is to show strength. It's a whole act of deterrence. That's why we deploy aircraft carriers around the world in different theaters, because we need to have a presence out there. Just to, hey, don't fucking do anything stupid because we're here, right? It's deterrence. We put these out there, and I understand the idea of, hey, we had this whoopsies with AI and we had to kill it, and here's the full story of it, to be a deterrence. But you don't ever put out your full set of cards.
Well, they don't. They don't.
Right?
They're like, for those said, like the military or military industrial complex, Lockheed, whoever it is, they're 10, 15, 20 years ahead of us in technology, right? And that includes AI. So, I'm sure they've got like super advanced, computing, right? Call it that. Because, I think when we use the term AI, it's hard to differentiate like what we're talking about or what most people think of AI and then what I'm talking about, right? So I think there's like some high level computing going on for sure. Machine learning and large language models, all that stuff. It's like it's happening, but again, I just don't think it's intelligent. I don't think that even just the term artificial intelligence is part of that psyop too, right? And you have other countries doing the same thing. This is what I was talking about with DeepSeek, right? China drops DeepSeek and everybody's like, oh shit. Come to find out, it's really not that smart, right?
Well, yeah. Okay, so there's that new term that's going around, right? The AGI. You've heard of AGI, right?
Artificial general intelligence.
I've heard two different definitions for this: general intelligence and generative intelligence. I don't know if there's necessarily a difference between the two. From what I understand, it's just two terms that define the same same concept. Basically, just the next step of AI, but just being literally an artificial intelligence instead of just being an advanced Google searcher, as like Grok and Gemini and ChatGPT is. So this would be something that has legitimate natural thoughts, original thoughts, not just something that is put into a database that it can pull from. meaning you go in there, you ask it a question, and it does a quick Google search, and it compiles an answer out of the hundreds or thousands of articles that it quickly breezes through in a matter of seconds, right? This would be an actual something that gives you an opinion by its own consciousness, if you will.
Yeah, I don't see that being possible is my point, right? Like, because all they're doing is they're plugging these into the internet and they're letting these a better term for this instead of artificial intelligence, instead of AI, would be like DA, data aggregators, right? Because that's what they're really doing. They're just aggregating information and data from the internet or whatever the inputs are. And it's just really good at like sorting and sifting through and organizing that information, but it's not coming up with anything on its own. Like nobody's like coding, okay, here's an AI, and then just like letting it loose and it's just like coming up with shit. Like no, it's like pulling shit from somewhere else that's already out there and like aggregating, organizing, searching, spitting it out. Like that's what it's doing. So, I think even the term artificial intelligence is just a psyop. And look, dude, everybody in the world is talking about AI, and everybody in the world has their own thoughts on like where it's going, where it could go. Right. I mean, the new iPhone, Crystal got the new iPhone and it's got like AI assistance on it, right? Which is something I've been talking about for a long time now, but it's really just doing the same thing. It's just another quote unquote smart device that's just aggregating information, your data, your routines and patterns. And it's just like compiling them into a way to make your life easier. It's just an AI assistant. And really, again, AI is a bad term. It's really a DA assistant. Yeah. Right.
I like that term a lot. I think that's spot on. That defines what it does really well. And again, what I'm not talking about is the DA stuff. Right. That's your Grok. That's your GPT, Gemini, Siri.
Palantir is doing the same thing.
Palantir is, but that because you know its name, man, means that it's not the pinnacle of what they have.
Sure, I'm with you on that 100%. You already know that, but again, I mean, look, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, right? I'm not in the secret dark rooms. I don't know what the fuck they're developing and how smart this shit really is, but from what I see, it just makes more sense to me that they're using it as a psychological tool, not just to spook China and Russia and etc., but to also spook the people, right? Because you got these people like Elon Musk and Peter Thiel from Palantir. You got these people that are literally talking about the AI gods. They're literally talking about, hey, in the future, the AI gods will be able to dictate, all these laws and put everything in place, and like there won't be any more wars because the AI gods are like, dude, they talk about this shit openly, and I think that's part of the tool. It's part of the psyop. Like, let's make the people think that the AI is going to get so smart that they'll put all their trust in it, right? Because we already do, and they've done it kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like sneakily, I guess, right? Because if you go on Google, right, and everybody's seen this in the last couple of years, if you Google something, you used to just get links, right? Mm-hmm. And boom, 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 and you'd have to go. Now you Google something, you get the AI answer followed by the links. Okay. Mm-hmm. So it's like they snuck it in there. Everybody thinks Google is the truth, by the way, right? 99% of people out there think, oh, just Google it. You'll get the answer, right? You'll find the truth when you Google it. And now that the AI is spitting out that answer first, most people just go straight to that. So you're already like subconsciously, you're putting all your trust and all your faith into this AI. And in a couple of generations from now, that's going to be like so normal that there probably won't be politicians anymore. It will be an AI overlord, an AI god of some sort that just makes all the decisions, and we're all just going to be like, yeah, that's normal. It's the smartest thing out there. It knows everything. But everybody's forgetting that some dickhead is the one who coded it and is like prompting it on some level, just like you prompt Grok, right? You put in a question, hey, do this thing, and then it gives you an answer, and you're like, that's not quite what I want. So you reprompt, and you reprompt again. You do that 5 or 6 times, and you get what you're looking for, right? Somebody else is doing that on the front end, and then they're putting it out to the wild for us. So somebody still has to,
somebody has to set the database.
Yeah.
Yeah. And perfect This is the perfect slide right into the technocracy, because that is defined what technocracy is, right? It is by every way a government governed by technology. And what you're saying right there is a perfect example, right? Like what you said, and when somebody tells you, or you ask somebody, hey, what's the answer to this, and what's their most common answer, if they don't know the answer, is Google it, right? But even if you're in a debate, if you're conversating with somebody and you give them a piece of information that they don't necessarily know, whether they do it right in front of you, or that they do it 5 minutes, 10 minutes after the conversation, or if they do it, when they're laying in bed later on that night, they're Googling what you said, right? And 9 times out of 10, they're going to look at that very first blurb right there, that AI blurb, and see what that says about what you said. And if you don't, we'll just go back in time here, just, to multiple episodes of the Infinite Rabbit Hole now, and I'm sure Shadow Band, there was multiple times where that blurb would have told you one thing, and now time has gone by, and conspiracy has now become reality. So it's really strange, just the nature of humanity and how willing we are to be manipulated by words on a website that we have been manipulated incorrectly by more times than we can even count. And our memory of our abuse is quickly forgotten. It's really stupid.
Yeah, and it goes deep, like a little deeper than that too, right? Because they've been working on this for a long time. Probably, how long has it been? 15 years ago, I was working at an SEO company, search engine optimization company. So we would, I was a sales guy, and we'd call these people up and try to get them on the first page of Google to promote their business and all this shit, right? And in 15 years ago, I had a picture. You can find this right now.
Through the Starbucks College Achievement Plan, full and part-time Starbucks baristas receive 100% upfront college tuition coverage so they can focus on achieving their dreams, not how they'll pay for school. And those dreams might start with a degree in management, biochemistry, or any of the more than 150 offered. At Starbucks, benefits like college tuition coverage are just the start. Learn more at starbucks.com/partners.
Hello, Nigel here. I couldn't help noticing that you're still awake. Now, I'm an owl. I'm supposed to be up at night, but you need your sleep. So if it's your allergy symptoms that are keeping you up, here's a word to the wise. Try Xyzal. You see, Xyzal works fast to relieve sneezing, runny nose, itchy watery eyes, and itchy nose and throat. And it keeps going strong for 24 hours, so you can get your sleep and wake up refreshed and ready for a productive day ahead. Be wise, all. Take Xyzal at night. Use as directed. Starts working in 45 minutes.
Welcome to Sephora. I'm looking for a perfume that's not too perfumey. I got you.
Serum moisturizer or moisturizer serum.
Let's get into layering.
My concealer is making me look worse.
Sounds like the wrong shade. Let's get you matched.
There's only one store that really gets what you're going for. Get beauty from people who get beauty. Only at Sephora.
Hi, Let's get you a basket.
Google it. They were using the eye tracking technology, because what they were doing is they were using the forward-facing cameras on your phones and on your laptops and all that other shit, and they could see where your pupils were landing on that first page of Google when you Googled something, right? So you would Google, plumber near me, boom, whatever. They got so much data, right, from people's eyeballs landing, and here's the scary part. It's not even scary. It's obvious when you think about it. Your eyes always track to the top left corner first, generally speaking. Just like when you're reading a book, you start in the top left corner of the page and you read left to right and down, right? And that's just naturally how we do it. And if you look at where that AI answer is, when you Google something, it's in the top left corner of the screen. It's like they spent the last 10 years or so aggregating this data of where your pupils land first, and they know the attention span is too low to go down to the bottom of the page or to the 5th page or whatever's right there is the one. That's the business that gets the most business, that's the answer that gets the most hits, etc. So they put that AI answer right there in that hot spot, knowing full well that 95% of people will go straight to that and only that, and that's the truth, right? And it goes deeper than that too, because that eye tracking technology 15 years ago was even showing that the dilation of the pupils, they were taking the dilation of the pupils into account in their data. Because when you see something that excites you or interests you or creates a fear reaction or a visceral reaction of some kind, your pupils dilate accordingly. And they were tracking that with your forward-facing cameras on your shitty little iPhone 10, right? They could see that your pupils were dilating just ever so slightly when you saw a certain thing. This is how the algorithms work now. If you're scrolling through whatever, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, even if you don't watch the video or like the video, you just kind of stop for like 1 second longer and your pupil dilates just a little bit, they can tell, oh, he likes that. He likes that. He doesn't like that. That created a visceral reaction just on the pupil dilation. And they put all that together and they slapped that AI answer right there in that spot.
It's so funny. It's crazy. Have you ever? I don't know. You probably have friends on both sides of the aisle politically.
Yeah.
So I have many within, especially within my old Navy circles and stuff, right? There's plenty of liberals and conservatives in the Navy. So just for shits and giggles, right? I just wanted to try something out. And I went to one of my more politically conservative buddies and was like, hey man, do me a favor. Ask this question to this particular AI. It was Google Gemini. I'm not gonna say what the question was. I'm not gonna say what the answer was because it was a very political question. Got the answer. And 3 days later, I was around a very liberal friend of mine and asked them to do the same exact thing in the same AI in Gemini. I got answers from both of them that were specifically curated to their political likeness. It's very, very interesting to see. And
there's been studies on this that people have really actually taken the time and like studied this deeply. And yeah, 100%.
It's very, very interesting. And it really, I guess this is where I really got interested into the whole idea of the technocracy, right? And the splitting down the middle, and especially with this whole thing with the Charlie Kirk assassination going on and stuff, because there's some really, really sketchy shit going on with this. I know that we've talked about this already on one episode, and we kind of dove into some of the details and everything that we could break down. But there's been so much more that has come out, so much more that people have found, and yet you can take the point that somebody has found and you could believe it wholeheartedly. Be like, wow, that's really good freaking evidence, right? And you can go to one person and say, hey, so what about this evidence? And they will have a curated answer for you that their whole side of their party has against this particular point. And then you could take that same piece of evidence and go to the other side. And then they will have a curated point. It's just like the the scripted news anchors that were all giving us the same shit about COVID, right? Except for you're hearing two different answers about the same point being presented with differing points of views. And I believe that AI has a big part to play in that. And I think this kind of is a good segue into the third thing I really wanted to get into, which is the dead internet theory. And I know we've talked about this before, but I think AI really has a lot to do with the dead internet theory. And I think that the Charlie Kirk assassination has really highlighted the potential for the dead internet theory to be real, alive and kicking, a real phenomenon. Before we get into that, do you have any new points on the dead internet theory?
Not really. I mean, maybe I'll think of something when we start talking about it. But I do just want to, just before we pivot to that, I just want to bring up one thing real quick. It's related to this, but it's a little bit of a sidestep.
Mm-hmm.
Predictive policing. Have you heard of this?
Is this like the where they're using AI to predict when people commit crimes or will commit crimes, and,
yes,
and pre-charging them before they do it?
Yep. It's pre-crime, right? It's predictive policing, literally. It's just like it sounds, right? And what they're doing is the same kind of thing where they're aggregating all the data and all this other shit. I mean, I'll just read it to you real quick. Predictive policing uses data analysis and artificial intelligence to anticipate and prevent future crimes by identifying likely crime hotspots, high-risk individuals or groups, allowing law enforcement to deploy resources more efficiently. Right. However, the system faces criticism for perpetrating racial biases, violating privacy, and undermining public trust, particularly when historical arrest data reflects existing systemic biases. Right. So, like, and what's interesting is if you look up predictive policing, right, one of the first like suggestions is Palantir, and Palantir's predictive policing software is called Gotham, just like Gotham City.
Yeah.
They're always doing this weird little fucking thing, right? This little, what's the word that we used to use back in the day? Predictive programming, right? So they're doing like this predictive programming, predictive policing. They're using this AI thing. So I don't know. It just like, it all connects to the technocracy, right? Situation. When you get deep into the weeds on like the World Economic Forum and like Klaus Schwab's famous quote where he's like, you will own nothing and you will be happy, right? You will own nothing, and that includes your own thoughts, right? Like they know what to feed you to keep you in a certain box. They know all your algorithmic information and all your patterns. And like, this is why your buddy and your other buddy got two totally different answers on the same platform with the same question, because the algorithms are keeping them in those boxes. They are keeping the tribalistic, separation of the people via this AI shit, right? But again, it's not just going way back. It's not even like the AI is doing it on its own. Like some dickhead is doing this on purpose, and it's just another way that they're using it to like trick and control people. Mm-hmm. So, there's a lot of reasons why I don't think AI is ever going to be sentient or, intelligent in the way that we think about it. It's just another control mechanism by fucking nerds who got picked on in school who decided to use this shit to fuck everybody's life up.
Looking for this one term. I want to say, sorry, let me, because this is another thing that I almost hate to admit this, but we had a guest scheduled for today. The same guest that we had scheduled for the fourth time.
Cut off, bro. Cut off, man.
Yeah, I don't know if that's ever going to happen. And when I got just the fourth time, where on the day of recording, we got canceled or postponed. I went into kind of like a freak out mode and was like, wow,
he's canceled now. Sorry, bro. If you are listening to this, which you're not, but if you do listen to this, like, don't be mad at anybody but yourself, brother. I mean, like, I know you got books to sell and you could have come on this show and you would have sold books. 100% you would have sold books. But we tried to get you on here multiple times and you just don't want to, bro. And that's fine. If anybody wants to, like, you can hit me up. I'll tell you who it is. And I've got an episode with the guy. You can go back 5 years and look at my episode because it's gonna be the same fucking presentation anyways.
Either way,
sorry,
yeah,
I'm pissed about it.
It is what it is. I'm not gonna talk shit about him. He knows who he is. But yeah, he sent me a video of his presentation afterwards today, and he's like, "Yeah, man, just tell me what you think." Nah, man, I'm good. Not gonna check out your shit, dude. I'm done with this. But I kind of just went into like a mode where I was like, shit, this is like the 4th week where we don't have anything to talk about. So I got to figure something out. And I just went into, my backlog of things that I wanted to talk about. And this was actually a topic that I wanted to talk about on one of the new shows that I had planned. Not the solo documentary, but the other one where I really wanted to break this down. So I'm pulling a topic off of that. But one of the other topics that I really want to dive into at some point is just dissecting the concept of cognitive dissonance. This is another concept or thing that we're seeing a lot of right now. A lot. And I think AI is playing a huge role into it because you can manipulate AI. And just like what I was saying, with 2 of my buddies, you can go on AI and get answers curated to your political, religious, spiritual, preferred belief. And these AIs tend to know this about you because your information, like Jeff was talking about, with your pupils and even down to your heartbeat. I mean, there's sensors in your phone that can feel your pulse in your fingers when you're holding your phone. Okay? There's a lot of signals and a lot of data that they're collecting on you every second that you're around your phone. It's not just your pupils, it's not just your heartbeat, it's not just the voice that's coming out of your mouth, what you're talking about.
Facebook
like
knows
this.
when you're going to take a shit before you take a shit.
Yeah, I mean,
literally,
they know more about you than you do. Okay, so when you go on to these AIs, or even when you go on to Google, and you're not expecting to be manipulated by an AI, and you're asking it for an article, and even if you're looking for something that is truthfully like, hey, I really want to know what the other side sees about this, right? You very well could hit this wall of information that's curated to continuously build up what you believe in. And it's to build up this idea of cognitive dissonance, to build the strength of this cognitive dissonance. And basically what cognitive dissonance is this reaction that you get when confronted with evidence that goes against what you believe. Right now, we are in the prime of a huge issue here in this world where cognitive dissonance has taken over the population. People are unwilling to open up and see the point of view of anybody other than themselves and their tribe. Tribalism is rampant. Cognitive dissonance is rampant. Even when presented with information that proves their point of view wrong or their belief to be incorrect, instead of pivoting and accepting the new evidence, they dig their heels into the sand and they create ways to prove that their point of view is correct. Am I on the right page here, Jeff? This is something that I believe is being made worse with artificial intelligence. I don't think that artificial intelligence is helping this concept at all. And when we get back, taking a backward step into the technocracy, right? This is a tool. Cognitive dissonance is a tool being manipulated by the technocracy, which again is the creation of a government governed by technology. Okay, this is your AI. So I know, we started off with the technocracy. What is a technocracy? And then you're thinking, how can a technology govern us? This is how they do it. Okay, they manipulate what you see. You yourself. What you see on page 1 of Google is going to be different from the person sitting next to you. Because it is tailored to you. They are trying to create, to pamper to everyone's human. I don't even know if it's necessarily a human thing or if it's something that we've adapted because of technology, because of the incredible amount of technological tribalism that there is now.
If you want to get spooky, bro, it's not. We think artificial intelligence, we think the grok, we think the Palantir, we think the computing that we're using is the artificial intelligence. The real artificial intelligence is us, right? Somebody said this in the chat earlier. They're like, we are artificial intelligence. You don't understand how true that actually is, because it's exactly what Jeremy's talking about right here. Mm-hmm. Everybody thinks they're right. Everybody thinks the answer that they're getting is right. Everybody thinks that they're on the right side of history, so on and so forth. The real artificial intelligence is our intelligence at this point, because none of us know the truth. We all think we know the truth. That intelligence that we all walk around fucking chest out thinking like, oh, we know the answer. We know masks work. We know masks don't work. We know vaccines work. We know vaccines don't work. Like whatever your position is, that's artificial. So it's like they played this weird game on us where, hey, you can use AI and it'll make your life better. But in reality, you're using data aggregators, to turn yourself into an artificially intelligent being instead of a truly intelligent being.
Yeah.
That was deep, bro. Put that on a fucking shirt.
Maybe I will. We do have the new Infinite Rabbit Hole merch shop. By the way, just plug that real quick. Yeah, I know I'm taking the long-winded way around it, but there, when I got the word that Homeboy wasn't doing the episode today, I spent a lot of time trying to build this path for how I wanted to present this whole topic. For the episode, the title of this episode was going to be The AI Gods and the Technocracy. Okay, where I touched on cognitive dissonance, and then the very next episode was going to be the dissection of cognitive dissonance, right? So I completely ruined 2 episodes of a new podcast tonight because Homeboy fell out for the 4th time. But I think this it works out because I still got a lot of really good input from you, right? Because I can do all of this myself, but I still won't be able to get Jeff's point of view. Jeff's point of view on a lot of this is critical because it's not my point of view, and that's helping with my own cognitive dissonance, right? It's important, and that's where I think, not to kind of pat Infinite Rabbit Hole's shoulders ourselves, right? But I think that's what really helps Infinite Rabbit Hole stand up amongst some of the other shows, is that we are open-minded, right? Yes, we do have our own beliefs, like how we believe things work, but we have presented each other with information that has helped guide us to move away from concepts that we've believed in before, right? I can tell you right now that...
Don't chew on that, Max.
Cooper loves that chew too.
Oh, now he's into Cooper's food. Wow, he is loving it. What do you feed Cooper?
Blue Buffalo Life Protection Formula. He never leaves a crumb. I love it because it's made with high-quality protein, nutrient-rich fruits and veggies, and wholesome whole grains.
Looks like we're switching to Blue.
Blue Buffalo foods are made with the superior ingredients your dog needs to thrive. Can your dog food say that? Visit feedbluefood.com to learn more.
Are you a forward thinker? Then you need an HR and finance platform that thinks like you do. Workday is the AI platform that helps propel your organization, your workforce, and your industry into the future. Workday, moving business forever forward.
Are your business expenses playing hide and seek? With Uber for Business, the small spends that slip through the cracks, like rides and meals, go right where you need them. Because it integrates with leading expense platforms, you can say goodbye to surprise costs, missing dollars, or chasing receipts. Everything's track downable. Uber for Business. Make small steps that make a big impact. Learn more at uber.com/small steps.
Who says you can't be the topic of conversation for all the right reasons? The Hyundai Tucson Hybrid pairs bold presence with advanced technology and sleek style. It's everything you didn't know you needed in an SUV and then some. Okay, Hyundai. Visit HyundaiUSA.com to learn more.
You know, when this whole thing with Charlie Kirk first started, and I'm just using this as an example because this is modern history, right? When this whole thing with Charlie Kirk happened, I looked at it and I was like, shit. You know, somebody fucking shot him from on top of the roof. And without spoiling too much, because just in case another guest calls out, you know, I really do think that we can do a whole nother episode on some of the new stuff that's coming out with this whole Charlie Kirk thing. I really think that there's some really, really dark shit happening with this whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know shit about, you know, what you talked about. The what was that organization that you brought up? We talk about them all the time. I can't believe it.
Which one? World Economic Forum?
No, the fucking
Saturn Death Cult?
No, come on, man. Even more common. They got fucking clubs in like every town. Come
Freemasons?
on, man. Freemasons. Right. So, you know, I don't know much about the Freemasons. You know, that's more of Jeff's thing. And I'm sure, you know, I could present him with information that I've come across as of recently, and he could tie that in. But what I can say is that there is a lot of manipulating going on. A ton of manipulating going on. And again, don't want to get too far into it, but there is a lot. Like the whole storyline is just being manipulated.
Yeah,
on
but
multiple fronts.
That's pretty normal, at least from my perspective, because every time like a major event happens, it only takes a certain amount of time before like a lot of the conspiracy nuts out there, all the Reddit nerds and the 4chan nerds, like they start figuring shit out and they start posting stuff. And this with every major event, dude. Like you always find out that the feds are involved, right? We just found out that there was 257 federal agents at January 6th.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
Oops. Fedsurrection, anyone, right? So, and then you find out like every one of these major events, there's connections to intel agencies, whether it's the CIA, the FBI, Mossad, right? Whether you're talking about the Boston bombing, Oklahoma City, you know, 9/11, Las Vegas, fucking all of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just it gets to a point to where like it's almost obvious when it happens. And then you see like the same playbook, like you see this guy who shot up the ICE facility the other day, same playbook, etched writings onto the bullets, you know, the whole 9 yards. It's almost comical at this point when you start really like thinking about it that way. And then you start really wondering like how much of this shit's even happening, right? You don't want to be that guy that says like, hey, that didn't happen. You don't want to be like a Holocaust denier, right? Like you don't want to be labeled that. It's a form of ostracism. But when you start really thinking about things like this, you start to really question, like, did that event even happen any way like they tell us it happened? Whatever event it is, whether it's Charlie Kirk or 9/11.
There's okay. I have to talk about one thing when it comes to it because it just bothers the fuck out of me, right? It has to, just like with the other episode, right? There was just things I had to get off my chest. I'm trying to keep up with the chats, Dubs and Possum and Spectrum, I appreciate you guys contributing to the chat. Sorry, I'm not getting to all of you, but Spectrum had put in here about Erica Kirk's music video, and I just seen this come through today or yesterday, about the music video. So I haven't even had a chance to really look into it, but I did see that there was some weird stuff. But there is one thing that I just to put it out there, right? I just need to get this out there because a lot of people are fucking talking about it, and it's really pissing me off. The idea that the hole in his neck was a exit wound, there's a possibility that it is. Okay, I'm not saying that it is or isn't. I've recently watched way too many fucking videos and dissections of old ballistic tapes, and there is potential to where it could be an exit wound, right? Which means that his lapel mic would have been the thing that exploded and sent a piece of shrapnel in through his collarbone area here,
just like the beepers. Remember the beepers?
And that is very interesting too, right? Yes, that it would have been very similar technology. Here's the part about this that's driving me crazy. All of that is believable up until they start talking about the guy in the brown shirt. The guy in the brown shirt where he takes his sleeve and goes like that. Listen, okay? Whoever thinks that that's the fucking assassin needs to stop. Okay? That's not your fucking assassin.
Purpose. They do that on purpose.
They put him there. And yeah, he could be a part of the whole fucking thing. He's an actor. Okay, he could be. He did jump in and he did hand off something. Okay, I'll give you that. I'm telling you right now, this isn't like a fucking TV remote where you need to be in front of the TV and 6 feet away and pointing at the little sensor on the fucking TV. Okay, a detonator is not like that. You do not need to fucking look at the fucking
they do this on purpose, where they give you whatever the truths might be, and then they flood you with extra shit just to throw everybody off the scent.
Dude, you know that video I sent you? And I said, hey, what do you think about this? That guy, he had a really good dissection of this whole thing going on. He did. He really did.
Until he went there.
Until he said, look, he's even pointing right at it. And he even gives it the little cock. Listen, man. That guy, he could have been fucking planted there. He could have been just adjusting his fucking sleeve. I don't know what his fucking story is. Okay, yeah, it's fucking sketchy. Okay, but he's not the guy who fucking detonated it. You don't need to point at the fucking thing. You don't need to do that. That's not how detonation works. Remote detonation doesn't work like that.
This is how they get the truther community, is by, again, like flooding the information with extra information and bullshit information, because they know a lot of these big YouTubers, etc., will pick up on one little thing and be like, that's what happened. And they're so like certain on like, this is it. And then it's easy to discredit those people because it's like, sure, there's a lot of people that'll believe it, but like, there's no proving that. There's no, you know what I'm saying? So like, it's easy to just discredit and set that aside as another one of these conspiracies because, oh, look, he said that was the guy, and they'll latch on to that. Right. Like, and it's just, they do this with everything. It's real chaos. Yeah. Chaos. Look, literally, I talk about this all the time. I haven't read this, by the way, but I know what's in here. Crystal's read this, and it talks about it in here. There's a show on Netflix for any of my non-readers out there, but it talks about flooding the information so that nobody knows what the truth is.
Yep. That was a YouTube comment, by the way.
YouTube. What up, Doob Tube?
We got YouTube. It's pissing me off how many people are spreading that around. I mean, people really need to use their fucking brains. Like, if you're falling for the fact that someone has to literally sit there in the front row and point their elbow at the lapel mic and cock or, physically make a cocking motion to set off, to detonate the lapel mic explosive, farther gone than what can be helped.
They do this with every conspiracy. Remember, we've talked about this when we talk about chemtrails, right? Like you say the word chemtrails, and 99% of people have a thought in their mind, a picture that they think of what chemtrails are, what you're talking about. Oh, they think that they're spraying nanotechnologies into the atmosphere, or whatever the crazy part of the conspiracy, the extreme version of the conspiracy is, right? And it's easy to discredit and laugh and point your finger because, like, oh, they're talking about they're spraying vaccines out of planes. Like, no, right? Like, but chemtrails are real, right? Like they do spray chemicals out of planes, right? Aerosol chemicals for various reasons, mostly weather modification, right? Are they also spraying nanotechnologies? I don't know. I won't die on that hill. But you got a lot of people on the internet that like they'll say that, and then 99% of the people they just take that and they're like, look, they're talking about these conspiracy chemtrails. It's the same thing with this guy that you're talking about with the Charlie Kirk. It's all of them. They do this on every single operation that they do. And that's another like red flag for me. When I start seeing that type of shit, I know something else is happening besides the narrative, right? As soon as now, like, because they, homeboy could have got shot and like it could have been a very cut and dry like situation. But because they added in all the extra shit to throw everybody off the scent, right? Like I'm on to this. So I don't know what the truth is. I don't know what happened exactly, but I know that based off of all the little fucking weird shit that they did, that the narrative that they're telling us is a lie. That's all I need to know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's the amount of information that's being flooded is absolutely insane. It's stupid. It really is. There's no other way to really define it.
But just to bring it back, I think that's what they're doing with AI too. I really think that they're using the idea of AI and everybody's perception of what AI is and is going to be. They're using that in the same way that they do with all these other operations. So we all think that the AI is going to become God one day when it hits the singularity. But that's not the truth, right? And I don't know what the truth is, but like maybe I'm just like a contrarian. Maybe I'm just too contrarian, right? At this point in my life. But whatever the mainstream idea of the narrative is, I'm pretty sure it's not that thing.
Well, let's see. We're at an hour 25 minutes. There was a few other things that I had on my flow chart for this topic that we did not get into. We basically got into you brought it up for me. I had described it a little differently. I described it as an algorithmic gaslight. Same concept, right? That's the AI, the Gemini at the front of Google searches, right? That's what I basically termed it myself, was the algorithmic gaslight. Then the erosion of trust, right? Let's see. One thing we didn't get into, well, you sort of did when you got into like the futuristic crimes thing, the black box problem, right? AI decision making is often opaque. That's the black box concept of the whole AI decision making. When a system makes a decision that affects a person's life, such as denying bail, flagging a job application, the lack of transparency makes the ruler unaccountable to the ruled. So
the most common use of that right now is in banking. So when you go to fill out something to get financing for something or whatever it is, you're trying to get a loan, they're inputting all your information. Back in the day, it used to be like a human being would like analyze the information that you write down on the sheet, and they would decide whether or not to give you this loan or to finance your purchase. Now they just stick it into the database, and the AI, or the DA rather, just aggregates that information and decides like, is this a risk or not?
Yep, exactly.
But yeah, that's moving into other aspects too, like predictive policing, and eventually it'll move into like governance, right? It probably already is, but like on a wide scale that's like obvious and known, right? I think that they're doing it now in governance, but they don't want us to know that, right? Because we're all under this, we're all under the what's the fucking word I'm looking for? Like illusion that we have elected representatives, Like we're electing these representatives to go and pass laws on our behalf, and they're representing their districts and what the people want. Like that's what a lot of people think is actually happening. This is why you hear this, like, again, a psyop, you know, our democracy, like, oh, it's a threat to our democracy or whatever the case is, right? When they use that term, it's just another psychological operation because there is no democracy, bro. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's key term. That's why the way I defined technocracy in my little flowchart mini script here that I had written up for this episode for the new show, right? I had defined it as rule by unelected technical experts replacing democracy. AI is the ultimate technocrat, and those who control the AI will soon control all mechanisms of state and society. That's how I defined.
There's a few things that they need to control, and they've said them all out loud. Control the weather, control the world, control the food, control the world, control the information, control the world, right? This is why, you know, people are going to laugh at me, but this is why Alex Jones is ahead of his time when he named his fucking company InfoWars. Literally what it is. It's an information war.
And this is why there's so much kickback or pushback when it comes to when people want to talk shit about mainstream media, because that is literally one of their major tools. That is their biggest.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Psst, healthcare pros, word's out, and it's too good to keep quiet. Look, LinkedIn is revolutionizing job hunting, making it possible to search by specialty, shift preference, and salary. Endless scrolling is out. Whether it's a mental health therapist or dental hygienist, finding the perfect role is faster and easier than ever. Head to linkedin.com/healthcare and start your search today.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
Wish you could become a morning person? You know the type, up before the sun, early morning runs, first one to the office with donuts and a smile. How do they do it? Easy. With the new Galaxy Watch 8, sleep tracking and personalized insights from Samsung Health help you improve so you can wake up to a whole new you. One who, dare I say it, skips the snooze? It's possible. Train your sleep with Galaxy Watch 8. Learn more at Samsung.com. Requires compatible Samsung Galaxy phone, Samsung Health app, and Samsung account.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold, soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
Tool. That is one of, if not their most influential tool.
They're literally trying to pass laws, and there are laws on the books in some countries, but they're trying to do it here in the States for misinformation and disinformation, like criminally charging people for misinformation and disinformation. And it's like, what? Like, yeah, it's a complete chokehold on information, just like the weather, just like the food, just like the water, right? Like all these key aspects of what civilization needs to function, they're not even taking control. They have control of these things. This is why they ban people for questioning things. This is why I got banned for medical misinformation right back in the day, like all this type of shit.
And then there is, just kind of give a tease out to some of the people who are messaging the chat on Twitch about UFOs. I think Jan Dubs was probably the guy with the most time talking about that, right? I do have a topic coming up on the new show titled UAP and AI, the convergence of mysteries. And just some of those key points that I have written down. My research isn't done with that yet, but some of my key points are the AI system made manifest, human reverse engineering, and the pre-programmed disclosure. Those are the three things that I'm going to be visiting on that. So I just want you to know I didn't just look over your messages there, man. And I know I've seen it. But I have a whole nother episode dedicated to that topic, so I didn't want to get too far into that. Skeeter liked the misinformation on Atlas coming towards us. That's a whole nother episode. I'm sure we're going to get into that in November. Because that's going to go for a wild ride. Yeah. That November's going to be wild, man. November's going to be wild. You think that they're playing games with this Charlie Kirk thing? Wait till they start, where we're going to start seeing some real weird shit come on with extraterrestrial bodies or civilizations piggybacking on this 3i Atlas. It's going to fucking be
Project
weird, man.
Bluebeam, baby. It's coming.
Now they're saying that this thing could be bigger than our fucking moon. Did you hear that? Jeez, man.
Project Bluebeam, bro. It's always a threat external to any solution, right? Communism, terrorism, extraterrestrial threats, viral threats. It's always threats that none of us have any way to confirm or, do anything about. We just have to trust the experts. And that's just the way it is.
Skeeter, that's another thing too. I was waiting for Jeff to finish up. That's the newest thing that I heard, is that the slightest turn that it just made, a couple days or weeks ago, the trajectory has it potentially slamming into Mars now. Something the size bigger than our fucking moon, potentially slamming into Mars. Fastest thing we've ever seen, potentially slamming right into Mars. Fuck, dude. I mean, if it happens, we'll see it.
It's not going to happen. What'll happen is if that's true, and I don't even think it's true, but they're going to use that information as if it's true, and they're going to use that as like a security concern, not just a national security concern, but a global security concern.
Holy shit! Could you imagine? Could you imagine that's... Go ahead, finish up, man.
Well, I'm sorry. What they do with national security threats, right? Remember the Patriot Act? Things like that, right? So now I'm upscale that globally. Global security threat.
Holy shit.
Now we have to fucking do whatever we want. Like, all your rights get stripped away because, there's a global security threat. So we're going to do whatever we can. Yeah. That's Project Bluebeam. That's literally what Project Bluebeam is, right?
Holy shit, dude. Holy shit. Did we just fucking dissect what is the real motivation behind Atlas?
Probably, dude. I mean, but they're doing this with the climate, right? Climate crisis, like global fucking catastrophe.
No. Dude, I don't even think it has anything to do with a fucking alien invasion. I don't think it does. You ever heard of the term transpermia?
Yeah.
Okay, transpermia is one of the ideas of how life originally landed here on Earth, right? Some sort of space debris landed on Earth, having some sort of organic material on it, and slowly it evolved into something else with bigger, more cells, eventually human beings, right? One of the more common concepts of transpermia is that there was a chunk of Mars, or many chunks of Mars, that landed here on Earth. What if COVID was a dry run?
It was.
For the 3i Atlas hit on Mars. And then they're going to... Because, dude, fuck. We're on the other side of the sun when this happens. We're going to be in that same area. We'll be in a debris field left by Mars if it's annihilated by this thing. Scientifically. Like, if they wanted to create a script for everyone to believe, we would be in a debris field of whatever's left over from Mars in about March, April timeframe. And isn't that when Jeremy Corbell, isn't that what he said? April 2026?
Yeah, he said they were going to use an external threat. This is what I always talk about when I talk about Project Bluebeam. Yes, you have your like traditional Project Bluebeam where it's holograms in the sky, fake alien invasion. But I always say that in my mind, Project Bluebeam is not exactly that. Remember what I was saying earlier. Whatever you think it is, it's not that, right? So But in my mind, Project Bluebeam is just an all-encompassing term for a threat outside of this world. Whether it's aliens, whether it's impacts, whether it's solar flares, whatever the narrative is that they can spin up and say, hey, look, we have a global threat now, global security threat. We have to like do the thing, right? You don't watch movies, but everybody's seen those movies where like all the countries in the world come together to fight off. I just watched what's the name of the movie I just watched? Edge of Tomorrow. Edge of Tomorrow, right? Like the whole world, we stop fighting each other and we all come together to fight the fucking external threat. Dude. Fuck your rights.
Dude, and they are publicizing this shit out of this 3i Atlas right now too. They're like, I mean, the script is there. It's all there. COVID was a dry run to make sure that they can get us all to do it. Right? Now they say, hey, everyone get in. There's going to be massive amount of shit falling from the sky. We don't know what's on it. It's from Mars. There could be bacteria on it.
They just confirmed, NASA apparently just confirmed that there
was life and bacterial
life on Mars.
Yep. Bro, it's fucking coming. That's it. Holy shit. They just announced that shit too. They just announced that this thing just made an awkward turn and that one of the projected paths has it slapping right into fucking Mars. And they're saying that this thing is bigger than the fucking moon. And it's the fastest body that they've ever seen since they started tracking material, astronomical bodies.
Look, man, you know how I feel about space, bro. I think that all the information they tell us about space is fake to begin with. So, I don't think that that's actually happening, right? I don't think there's actually an object flying through our solar system. And I don't think that that's real, right? But it doesn't matter because all they have to do is say that it's real and then act on the fact that that information is real. Could not even be real. We could be a stationary, flat fucking Earth with no space out there, but doesn't matter because if they tell us space is out there and this object's going to hit Mars, like, and then they start fucking passing emergency laws and shit, like, doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? But like personally, I don't think that's real.
Well, damn it.
So like basically what I'm saying is don't be afraid that that's actually going to happen and it's going to cause cataclysms on Earth.
No, but that you could see that that's the path that they're going to play.
Sure. Definitely be concerned that they'll use that information, like I said, to strip away your rights and to fucking, enact global martial law and that kind of thing. Like, sure, that could totally happen. Object hitting Mars and us going through a debris field and fucking up the Earth, like, I don't believe that. But again, doesn't matter what I believe. It just matters what they tell us to believe and what they act on. It's my bedtime, bro.
Yep, I'm going down a rabbit. And switching laundry like my wife just texted me to do. Because I'm a good boy. All right. Well, good stuff, chat. Good stuff. Everybody. Shoot, we had participation from YouTube today too. We don't get that, so thank you. Appreciate it very much.
A bunch of the MilSim homies in here tonight. Appreciate you guys showing up.
Appreciate the support very much. Just cross my T's, dot my I's real quick. Right. Jeff, you got anything else to put out, bud?
Not really. I mean, the Shadow Band website's still not online, but we got some cool ideas for shirts and stuff. So hopefully sooner than later, we'll get that up. Speaking of the MilSim guys that are in the chat, we are actively recruiting for that. So if you're interested in MilSim gaming, shoot me a message. I'll get you in.
I'm good. I did that shit in real life.
Yeah, you did it in real life. Well, so did a lot of guys in the MilSim.
Yeah. See, I got my challenge coins up here, boys. Look at them.
These guys are shit.
Look at them.
Those are shill coins.
You don't even know what challenge coins are, guy.
No, I don't.
Exactly.
They're shill coins.
You just stay with your MilSim. I'll stay with my real challenge coins up there.
You go.
Yeah. All right. All right, well, that's it, everybody. Appreciate y'all for coming out. I'm gonna stay up and get this episode out. Definitely try to cut some clips, but I gotta work a 14-hour shift tomorrow, so might not get it tonight. But anyways, all right, yeah, okay. Sorry, just making sure everything's good. Okay, all right. Thank you, everybody. This has been another episode of the Infinite Rabbit Hole podcast. Next week we have a special guest. We have Sir Jason Hewlett coming on the show.
He won't bail on us.
He will not bail on us. I know that because he's a good guy. I love Jason. Great guy. Old boss man of ours.
Boss man.
He's going to talk to us about a book that he's got coming out on October 6th. So Infinite Rabbit Hole is going to take a dive back into some of the cryptids and stuff. Good old Jason. Jason's always a good time. So we're going to take a step away from the conspiracy and we're going to dive into lore and legend, which is more my thing. Jeff's just going to probably just be there to look and gawk at Jason. Sorry, man. Called you out. All right. Until next time, everybody. We'll see you right here in the next path in the Infinite Rabbit Hole. All right. That was awkward. Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out the Infinite Rabbit Hole podcast. If you're looking for more of our stuff, head on over to infiniterabbithole.com, where you can find links to all the podcast players that we are available on, and even our video platforms such as TikTok and YouTube. While you're there, make sure to check out all the links for our socials and hit that follow so you know when all the new stuff from our podcast comes out. And until next time, travelers, we'll see you right here in the next fork in the path of the Infinite Rabbit Hole. Bye.
Every minute your finance team spends wrestling with data is a minute lost. Insight Software's AI-powered insights instantly move you from complexity to clarity. Automated analysis, real-time reporting, strategic recommendations, all at your fingertips. Transform how your finance team works and watch your business grow. Stop wasting time. Start making smarter decisions. Learn more at insightsoftware.com/AI.